do what it says to do. Are we ready? Yes, no, maybe so. Alright, so let's open this top flappy. It says, okay, what just happened? You know what? It's fine, it's fine. A literal equation is an equation with more than one variable. There will be multiple variables in the answer. Alright, so what we're going to be doing is we're going to use our solving equation skills that we have learned over the past 2 weeks to solve these. Are we ready? So on this side, it says to solve a literal equation for one variable, use solving equation skills. Dun, 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 dun. 1 step is really easy, 2 steps a little more complicated. Not really. Are we ready? Are we ready? Are we ready? Are we ready? Okay, let's open. Alright, so what this foldable does is it starts out with a basic 1-step equation that we've done before. So let's do this one. It says solve for x. So how would we get this x by itself? What would we do? Subtract 7. Take a point. Alright, and if I subtract 7, what's left on the left-hand side? X, and then negative 12 minus 7 is? Negative 19. Dun, dun, dun. We know how to do that, correct? So then on example 1, it asks us to solve for A. So what's over there with that A? A B, and it's a positive B, correct? How would we get rid of the positive B? You subtract it. So everybody subtract B. Now, can you combine C and B? Nope, because they're 2 different things. So you write A equals C minus B. Dun, 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 dun. You're done. So the reason it's called literal equations is because we literally subtracted B, so we write minus B. That's all you do. Isn't it magic? Okay, let's look at example 2. To solve for y, what would we do in this top equation? Alright, take a point. Remember, number strip person, you should be keeping up with the points for your table. Alright, and what is 34 plus 9? Take a point, Jayla. And we're done with that one. So, what would we do for number 2? We would add E. Why would we add E? Now, what is D going to equal?
F plus E.
F plus E or E plus F. It doesn't matter which way you write it. It's the same thing. Good, take a point. And that's all you do. Isn't it lovely? Could you guys try number 3 without me? So do the recall problem and then try number 3 without me. And I'll leave 1 and 2 up there. Did y'all get c divided by 2 pi? How many of us got that? Take a point for your team. Good job. Now, why is it c divided by 2 pi? Because you're solving for r. Okay? So, something that I do that helps me when I'm solving these is I put a box around whatever it is that I'm looking for. So, if I'm looking for r, I put a box around r. That's a force field. I'm trying to get that one by itself, so I need to get everything away from it. I do the opposite. If that helps you, do that. Now let's look at number 4. We need to get y by itself, so what would we do? Multiply by what? Okay. And what's 8 times negative 4? Take a point. My markers are dying. Okay, so now that we've done that one, let's look at number 4. We're trying to get m by itself, so we're going to put a force field around m. What would we do to get rid of that fraction? Multiply by v. So what does m equal? dv or vd, either of those. Now this is going to help us a lot whenever we start solving for, whenever we use our formulas and we're trying to find a missing piece. That's what you use this for. You'll be doing it a lot for the rest of the year. Any questions on 1 step? Ready for 2 step? Do you think you could try one without me? Alright, let's look at number 5. Do you think you could try that one without me? Or do you want to do it together? If we need to do it together, no judgment, all God's children. Does anybody want to do it together? Okay, let's do the first one together. Awesome. Alright, so what are we trying to get by itself? Alright, let's put a force field around W. Now, pretend that that said 21 instead of 2L. What would we do to move this 21 over here? We would subtract it, alright? But it says 2L. So we're going to subtract 2L. Now, the reason we're doing that is, again, we have a force field around W. We can't do anything to this term until it's completely by itself. This is a positive, so we move it over here. Now, what's left is P minus 2L equals, all right, what's left over here? 2W. Is W by itself? So what do we need to do? Divide by 2. Good, take a point. So then W equals P minus 2L divided by 2. Do we need to walk through that again? Yes? No? Yeah? Okay. Let's everybody finish writing it down and then put our pencils down so I know you're done, and let's look at the board. Alright, so the first thing we did was we saw that we were solving for W, so we put a force field around W. We have to get everything away from this term, which means that we need to move this over here. So to move this to L, it's a positive. We subtract 2L from both sides, and that gives us P minus 2L equals 2W. W is still not by itself, so we put a force field around it. It's 2 times W, so we divided both sides by 2, and that gave us W equals P minus 2L divided by 2. Does that help? Alright, can you try this one without me? Try this one. How would you get rid of that fraction? Multiply by 2. The reciprocal. Good. Do you have a shirt to wear with that? Okay. I just realized what you were wearing. Put on clothes. Did y'all get that? Anybody else get that besides Cameron and Maddie? Awesome. Take a point for your team. So if we didn't get that, what happened? Or were we just not finished? You were finished? All right. Super sorry. I got excited. Okay. Any questions? Do we need to walk through that one? Yes? Okay. So we know that we're trying to get B by itself. So the first thing we wanted to do is get rid of the fraction. We multiply both sides by 2 to kill 1/2. And we get 2a equals b times h. Now again, we're trying to get b by itself, so we put a force field around it. That's b times h, so I divide both sides by h. And I get b equals 2a divided by h. Questions, comments, gripes, complaints about the problem. Not just general complaints. Number 7. This is a good one. Can you try it without me, or do you want to do it together? Which there were 2 options there, and we just kind of sat there. Together? Okay, so let's look at what it's asking us. Where should we put our force field? Around L? Draw a force field around L. Now, we have to get everything away from this term before we can touch it. So how would we move that minus pi r squared? That plus pi r squared. We would subtract it. Okay, so that's going to give us what on the left-hand side? S, and then whisper, whisper, whisper. I think you said pi r squared equals, and then what's left over here? Pi r L. Is L by itself? So I need to put a force field around it. What would I do from here? I'm trying to get L by itself. It's pi times r times L. I would divide by what? Pi r. So then L equals S minus pi r squared divided by pi r. Yes, no, maybe so? Can you try number next without me? Number 8? Pretty please. Try number 8, and I'll try to give you time to finish while I write your homework down. So, did you multiply both sides by m first? And you got SM equals W minus 10E. And then did you add 10E? And you got SM plus 10E equals W. Looks like a weird code. How many of us got it right? Give your team a point. All right, homework. 2 problems.